Okay, welcome back to the channel, guys. We're gonna start off today tiling. We have 3 days, if all goes well, of tile to put in. We got the mains put in the last 2 days, all the laterals to put in today. So we got 5 of us today. We should be able to get a lot done today, and then I think tomorrow we got 4 of us. We're hoping. We got like 60 acres though, so it's gonna be a lot, but Ben's down there with the 6430. He's scratching in lines, so we know where to go. I'm gonna take this down, and then we're pretty much set to go. We got all the materials, all the tile rolls are hauled down, and we're gonna get going right away this morning here. We're really hoping that this quad track will be able to pull it fine, even when it gets soft out, because it's supposed to be 45 today. The frost is gonna come out of the ground, and so it's gonna get slimy and muddy. Luckily, we're only putting in 4-inch laterals, so it should have enough, weight and power to pull through this, so we can run all day. But that's gonna be the kind of iffy part about this here. We'll see though. And if you guys didn't watch the last video, so this is Ben's quad track here. He's custom installing tile here for me, and so we're doing all the labor. I ordered all the pipe, kind of got some of the plans together, and he's pulling it and doing some of the labor too. But he's got his own custom tiling business, and he bought this quad just for tiling and some ag field work too. And then he bought a Solomax plow, I think 2 years ago. So he's getting to the point, I think, where he wants to start scaling up his business, but he doesn't want to take on too much jobs yet until he kind of gets a little more free time, I think is what's happening. So this is a perfect job for him to go on and stuff, and it works out really good for me because we got the labor. There's a couple guys putting on anhydrous yesterday. There's a good enough frost where they could go, so they're putting on anhydrous. I'm hoping I can still get anhydrous on this this fall, and then also I'm gonna try and get this field to go corn on corn. So I'm gonna rip these bottoms, and it's supposed to be like 45 the next like 10 days. So it's gonna be pretty nice, I think. Hey Ben, you should leave this quad track here for next fall. Then we can pull 2 wagons up these hills. It'll be perfect. You ready to roll, Buck?
It's gonna be interesting. These are gonna be coming in handy very well today.
You're the guy.
Hopefully.
So Buck's getting a lesson on around the cart there. He's gonna be an important guy, straining out as quick as possible. We usually just stream them out ahead of the quad track. Buck will get going about halfway, and then we'll get Ben ready to go. When Buck's about halfway, Ben will start taking off, and then hopefully Buck can get it capped and run on back here. Spence is starting to dig the starting holes down there so we can get ahead a little bit, because I think that's going to be the holdup most likely. I'm not complaining at all. It's going to get warm. Like, we're going to be shredding layers. It's supposed to get to like 44 today. It's going to get warm, especially the guy digging, which is this guy. Okay, so usually Ben gets lined up there, gets it set in the ground, gets everything going, and then we'll stream it through for him, get it going, he'll take off, and then we'll make the connection later. That's good. Now this usually works is we're drilling a hole in here, and then we have a tap tee, which I'll show you guys. We tap that in, and then we put the plastic tubing over it. Those work pretty good. I put that maybe a tad too high, but should be good. And it just goes on there like that. Some of them we can kind of bed down, so we'll just throw a little dirt around it, just because I dug out a little too much. You need good loose dirt though, so it's kind of some rocks and big chunks in here. And then that's good, and we'll come back and bed this whole pipe. I cut it a little long, has a little bit extra room, but should be fine. Okay, so it's now like, I don't know, 10 hours later, 5 hours later. Got all those runs done. Ben's going good, actually. Haven't even had to pull him once besides when Spencer was pulling him. That's it. I've just been digging this whole time, and it's tough keeping up with them. So it's tough filming a little bit. I'll try and film more here. Spence is just about finished up over there digging though. All right, it's a new morning now. Buck, Spencer, Ben are just heading down to the field. I'm gonna follow them down there. And we should, it felt like at the beginning of yesterday, things were going so quick, we got kind of stuck, stuff like that. But then at the end, we really got going good. So if we get the going good all day today, we'd have a pretty big day, I think. Yesterday, we got 15,000 feet of pipe pulled in. So that was decent for how much we had to stop and stuff like that. So hopefully we can get, well, we're gonna have some short runs today. So there's no way we're gonna get 15 today because we got a lot of short, like patchy, like 2 and 8 acre fields. So it's gonna be a little tougher today. Now there's Buck, he's running loads for us. The Spence is out there around the closing up the trenches. Curious to see what that's doing. It's kind of a homemade closer that Ben made. Okay, we're gonna get this thing started. We're running into issues where all of our dirt that we're digging out is big frozen chunks, kind of heavy clay soil and stuff. And so we need kind of some lighter soil to kind of pack down all the connections we made and stuff like that. So there's kind of some lighter soil on top of that hill, and there's a pond. And so we're gonna kind of just expand the pond a little bit, dig out some, and it should give us some nice soil, and then we'll just haul that down there and use that kind of for the base layer of all those connections. A little more work and stuff, but it'll help the connections out a lot better. You won't worry about crushing the connections, so I think it's a little safer. Buck, how's tiling going?
Pretty good. I've been running tile since 5:45. It's been pretty great.
Nice.
Now I gotta save the day with some gas.
We're down one guy.
We are down one guy. Well, old Papa left, and then the guy who's supposed to show up said he had the whole week off. Whole week off from school. Get this. You guys you hate school. Whole week off from school. Says he's got schoolwork, can't show up. Procrastination is a thing. We all do it. You can sacrifice 2 days.
So Ben's out there. He switched out attachments. He's got just the one field cultivator shank we welded on the back of that 3-point hitch. He's marking out lines. So we got 2 acre piece right there to do, 8 acre piece right there. We got to finish that. If we get all these done today, I'd call that a win. We have about 30 acres on the bottom right there that we have to do yet too. So eventually I'd love to tile this whole piece. This stuff is really good drain soil. It's kind of like a brownish, it's not as black soil. It just drains super good naturally. Eventually we'll probably tile it, but it's just the yield enhancement you're gonna get off this is not as much compared to tiling those bottoms. So we're just tiling what's important for now. Maybe in a year or two I'll come back and we'll do this. There's my ride.
Your ride?
Put the window down?
Yeah.
You're hot already?
No, I just like to cruise with the window down.
Well, Spence broke a bolt on the mini excavator last night, so he didn't get the right bolt, so he's running back. So that puts us down one guy digging start holes. Usually he's trying to get ahead, digging start holes because we'll catch him. And then it's gonna be me making all the connections on the start holes, getting Ben set up for the next run, and kind of helping Buck out a little bit, going with the tile. So when the stringer runs out, it's got 3,000 foot rolls. That gets us about 3 runs. And then Buck has to come out here and make a connection to the old line once he goes and gets a new roll. So we only went 100 foot with the old one, then we ran out. So now he's got to make a connection to the new one. Good to go. So Buck's gonna take off. I'm gonna hold this. Hey! Stop. Okay, Buck, go slow. That thing yanked me hard. We should have enough on the end. Just go slow, real slow. We're going good. Oh! Hey, fuck! Hey, Buck, are you gonna be hitting the brakes at the end or no?
I'll slow down. I'll do a mixture. It's just about half and half.
Okay, because if you hit the brakes at the end, then I need to sit on this. So Buck's Streiner, Ben's surveying back, seeing what the grade's gonna be for his next run here. And then Buck just avoids them. We're good to go. Buck can't get too far ahead though, otherwise it kind of screws up our process.
Buck comes back.
We're just getting to the point where we're finishing up a few more runs on this 22-acre piece here. This is a compacted spot where we drove like wagons through, all through here, and so Ben starts really slipping here and can't pull it, so we'll just hook the 8110 up, and then we got like 2 more runs over there where Spencer's digging, and then we're done with this piece.
I'm hijacking this. They're stuck. It's gonna be great. They're stuck. Let's see what they can do. Pulled right through that. Didn't seem like it was too bad. No spinnies here. Give her a round kick. Woo!
Well, we got our last pass we're doing here of this 22-acre piece, and this is tiled. 30-foot spacing, 3 foot deep. Let's see what the yield is next year. And Ben's doing good. He pulled the last one by himself. There's been a couple where we get into some slick spots that we hook the 8110 up. That's all it needs is just a little yank and he gets going. And so some of these shady spots right along the edge of the field get pretty slick. This is the last pass we got here. I think he can make her. He's slipping. Never mind. Good thing we put the tractor right here. Come on, Case. So as I was digging this start hole here, Spencer initially found this a while back, but there's right there, there's a clay tile outline that runs right up there. Tore one of the pieces out because they come in little chunks, like they laid them in little chunks. And this was based off my aerial photos, like back in the 50s or 60s is when they laid these. And that's caked with complete mud. Ben was saying that's due to bad grade. Their GPS must have been off back then. So we're getting set to go on this, it's an 8-acre bottom here. Spencer's got all the starting holes done. And then we got a 50-acre piece out here. We're only tiling maybe 30 acres of the bottom part. The hills don't need it really. So we'll tile that and then we're done. But that's a lot of work still. So it's like day 4 of this video, and I was doing runs all day. I was doing all the connections, digging stuff, and finally got to a point where I got a little break here. I don't know, we probably got like 20 runs done today or so far, and we'll keep going in the dark a little bit. But this is the 45-acre piece. Again, it gets pretty wet out there. There's still some old tile, but it doesn't do good. And so we got a couple short runs. We couldn't make grade over there, so there's kind of a little dip. You can't pull through them, so a couple short runs. And then you see Ben all the way out there. He was running a run all the way from where they're hooking up the tractor and stuff. There's kind of a nice gradual grade. And so he's about to go through a wet spot. I'll show you guys that wet spot. It's a side hill screen, driest year even. You can't farm it still. It's always wet. And I think I'm surprised he's pulling through it. So Buck stringing tile there, like everything's going smooth today. So we're getting a lot done. Okay, so we got the master in here. This is the first time I've actually filmed him.
Yeah.
In here. Okay, run us through what's happening.
We're installing tile and watching Buck install the pipe where I scratched the line bed. So we're making a lateral run right now. We're moving along at about 2 miles an hour. The ag leader's running in teleslope, so we did a survey run on the way back down, which gave us our topography down here. We input the min and max of how shallow we would want to be or how deep we may want to be. Grant's been wanting to install this tile at 36 inches to the bottom of the tile. So there's where it's going to want to try and install it based upon the topography. It might jump around. Like right now we're right at 35, 36 inches deep. Here's where you can see how we're holding grade. It bounces around a little bit, like you just saw 0.2, 0.3, 0.2, 0.4. That's 0.4 of an inch, which that's really big. So most of the time you're on 0. So it's just holding grade pretty good.
How's your towel cart guy?
He's getting it. He's getting it.
So Buck loves his job. He's got basically a grain cart guy, essentially, for the combine, if you want to think of it that way.
So Buck has to string out where things have gone. So, and since you used a FlowX design and I keep breaking my tile laying out, I don't have GPS or my steering's not working in the quad track. So I have to go out here and scratch the lines in to tell Buck where to lay out the tile. It was a little bit easier, but since these are kind of oddball runs, he's having a little harder time following where we're going.
It's
I
tough.
can't necessarily just, like on the 8-acre piece that you did, I scratched the line where he was supposed to stop, like on all of them.
Yeah.
But if you look at these, we've kind of, on the top end up here on the top, we kind of been snaking them around a little weird. So the top end is in different spots all the time, but there's where you can see everything that we've done so far. There's your 22-acre piece, your 2-acre piece, your 8-9-acre piece, and then I don't know what you call this one, like a 40?
I called it a 40, yeah. We'll probably end up doing 25 acres.
20, yeah, of it. So, well, yesterday it's like we'd have issues where if we were like along the tree lines or on your compacted end rows, like I'd spin on that every now and then, which that's not a power issue. It's not even really a weight issue. It's just it's like a car trying to drive on an iced up parking lot. It just doesn't go. Yeah. So I've been able a couple of times to actually like burn through or dig through the frost, and then I can get going. But other than that, we'll just hook the 8110 on it and just give me a slight little tug, and then we're going again.
So here's a wet spring that I can't get through right here. It's actually kind of tough to see on camera. We got one line on the edge, one in the middle. This one's going to the top, and this one Ben says is actually going to do the most here. It's going to catch the water before it actually goes into it, because most of it leaks on the top here.
More like a side hill seep.
Side hill seep, I meant.
So like you got a hill here, right? But what must go up must come down. So like if this is a big hill like this, see how the bumps are making it accurate. So this is your fence line right here, right?
Yep.
And right here is your side hill seep.
Yep.
If you were to go directly over to wherever it got over here,
that would be on the neighbor's property.
Yep, there'd be another side hill seep. So here's where your water is being expressed out of the side hill. So you want to put a pipe before it can express itself. So it's actually on the upside of the seat, not in the seat or below the seat, because your pipe would actually be down there. So you actually want a pipe above the seat to catch the side hill seeps.
Okay guys, so here is the final layout of the project. This is probably the coolest, most rewarding view. Well, actually, most rewarding will be when I get to run the combine next fall and see the yield. But here's the 22-acre piece right in front of us. It looks a lot bigger than the 45-acre piece in the back there. It's just because of the drone view. But I don't know how many runs we did here. Our longest run was about 1,000 feet, maybe 1,100 feet once we go up to the center there. This piece was probably the most wet piece, this 22-acre piece. It literally yielded 80 bushel an acre, I would say. This year, last year, it was like 170, 180. It wasn't terrible at all, even though we were wetter last year, which was weird. This is the 2-acre piece we did. Again, this is a heavy black soil that just needs drained. If you can get the soil drained, it's really good. Over here is the 8-acre piece that you're seeing. This is actually going to go into beans, so I'm going to do some beans on this farm, and I'm really curious how beans are going to do under brand new pattern tile, and I'm going to compare it to my ground uphill that isn't pattern tiled to see what one outperforms. That'll be interesting. Now here is the 45-acre piece. We probably pattern tiled 30 acres, 25 acres of it, 30 acres of it. Some of it is kind of hilly, and so it naturally drains really good. Doesn't need tile. And then here's me closing up the trench actually, which you guys are going to see in the next video, which is tillage. Like a whole tillage video and clean up. There's some more cleanup we had to do of this farm. So I'm just closing the trenches with Ben's closer. And here is the final view from above. This kind of shows everything. Overall, I was super happy with how this project turned out. It took a lot longer than I thought. It took us, I think, 7 full working days to get this whole thing done, plus equipment moving. It took a while, but I mean, Ben was awesome to have. It was great. We had Buck, we had my dad's help. I mean, plan came together and we got it done. So I'm excited to see what happens here this next year. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching this one. If you do have like a comment or question about drain tile or anything, or even about farming this year or anything, feel free to let me know down in the comment section. I'll try and answer pretty much every question. And I should have another tillage video coming out real soon too. There's just so much footage of this that I'm going to put the second one into a tillage video here. So thanks for watching, guys. We'll see ya.